Hey there guys, so I thought John that I'd try and do a video tutorial on how to paint teeth. So I thought I'd have a go at making an actual proper video, and you guys can let me know what you think, and hopefully give me some feedback, and maybe I can actually start making some videos for the interwebs. Yeah, so the problem with this model is that it's got a lot of bone on it, right? So if I just paint the teeth the same colour as the bone, you're not really going to see them. They're kind of just going to disappear into the rest of the model. So what I'm going to try and do is still have them looking like bone, but I'm using different shades of brown and bone and white than I am in the rest of the model. So we're going to see how that works out. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm basing the model in. I've already got my 3 paints I'm going to use here: Mornfoam brown, Ushabti bone, and white. I'm using the Vallejo whites because I find the Games Workshop whites are quite chalky. I struggle with them quite a lot. I tend to end up with quite a chalky effect. They're not very smooth whites, I found. So we're just going to start by base coating the teeth in Mornfoam brown. I'm just going to get a better brush to do that with. And I'm going to try and keep the model in shot as best as I can. It's also a really big ass model and it's quite hard to keep stable when you want it. So we're just going to keeping our paint nice and wet, and we're going to do 2 thin coats of this. Now, one reason I'm using Mornfoam brown is that it's quite a rich brown. And obviously this guy hasn't had the best dental care, so I'm guessing his teeth are going to look quite brown and rotten towards the base. It's not the end of the world if you leave a bit of black showing as well, right at the base of those teeth. We're going to be doing some more shading and stuff later on as well, so you'll see that when we come to it. It's weird making a video, it's like I'm talking to myself. The first sign of madness. Keep the paint nice and wet. I have to keep adding water because it's rather hot here. Paint dries out pretty quickly. Even I use the Vallejo airbrush flow improver to keep it on the palette, and I'm using a wet palette as well, and it still dries out pretty damn quick. Forget the bottom teeth as well. Get a nice coat on those. I've actually noticed that I haven't base coated the bottom teeth in brown. Now I'm having to move the model around quite a lot because it's such a big dude. Usually I'd have a normal size model would just be on my painting holder. That's my my grip, which is just here, which is fantastic. You just stick the base in there. Job's a good one. Because this guy's so big I have to keep moving him around, but I'm trying to do my best to keep him in shot for you. What have I got white on my brush? Where's that come from? That's not good. Probably I've got white all over my fingers somehow. Fantastic. Right, we're just going to keep putting this base coat on. I'm going to be talking throughout a lot of this video, but I might end up speeding through some of it. And you guys let me know if it's going to make the video shorter. Let me know if you prefer it with sped up bits, or if you just want me to keep it normal speed. If we keep it normal speed, I'm just going to have to keep finding rubbish to talk about, which I can do, as you lot probably well know. Right, so now we've got our 2 thin coats of Mornfoam brown on there. So you can see it's already quite a distinct different colour from that rest of that model. Next job is we're going to do a 50-50 wash, not wash, 50-50 mix of Mornfang brown and Shabty bone. Is it Shabty bone? Yeah, it is a Shabty bone. And this is actually it's probably more Shabty bone than Mornfang brown. It's quite a light colour this. And this is just going to go almost to the end. I'm just going to clean our brush and I'm just going to feather that in a little bit. It's actually must be a little bit wetter for me. There we go. Dragging it towards the end of the tooth, or tooth, depending on what part of the UK you're from. And what I'm trying to do is leave like a little, almost like little spiky bits here. If you've ever seen a rotten tooth, it's not a smooth transition from the dark to the white. It's like it's almost like little lines in it. I don't want them too prominent. So we're going to pick up on that later. But a little bit like that. I think it's just about right. Man, you can't see because the camera's not in the fucking shot. There we go. I currently have my camera stand strung up with a piece of string because I can't really struggling to get a good angle on it. But if you guys like this and you think, yeah, let's make some proper videos, and I'll probably invest in an actual webcam and better stand for my camera. So we're just going to go back over a nice double coat. 2 thin coats, always 2 thin coats, even 3 sometimes. I always dragging it down the tooth. Okay, do the bottom teeth. Leaving that Mornfang brown at the bottom. Not forgetting to do the inside of the tooth as well, because that will show if you miss that. So yeah, the problem I have is that I can't. Well, I guess it takes practice to get the right angle of painting, so you're actually getting the model in the shot all the time. There we go. Oh, and make sure we get the inside of these teeth as well. I think you can see that. I have to keep checking my camera. Just a bit of a pain. Go. Now we're going to do a pure Shabty bone. I'm actually going to drop down to a small brush for this. Just going to make that nice and wet. You want it sort of the consistency of milk, people say. Which I always thought was a weird way to explain it. And then again, this time we're doing lines down the tooth, so we get that sort of rotten, jagged effect coming up. Just nice and carefully drag it down. towards the end of the tooth. Again, not forgetting the insides as well. I'm going to probably have two parts of this video. But it's going to be one long, well, hopefully not too long, one video. Some of it's going to have music in it, some of it's not. So I get lines to let me know if it's better without music or with. Now we can do this side. Hope you guys can still see. So yeah, there are going to be parts of this video where probably he's not exactly centre, or you're going to maybe struggle. It doesn't help he's a big ass model as well. He's probably one of the hardest models I've actually had to paint, just for the fact that he's so big and bulky. In hindsight, I probably should have painted him without attaching the wings on, but I kind of needed to for this guy because he's not the most stable miniature. I'm pretty sure John googled hardest miniature to paint and sent me that one. He probably doesn't even need it, he's probably just going to sell it. He just wanted me to struggle. No, I'm joking. So now we've got the end of the teeth, and you can see they're still quite similar to the current face colour. What I'm going to do now, I've just noticed a few bits. Little painter's trick you can do. Paint on your brush, and you need a thinner thing. You can just roll the brush on your hand. We're just going to extend very carefully some of those jagged lines in. There we go. Now we're going to do a 50-50 shabby bone and white. And always add when you're using white, always add your colour to the white, not the white to the colour, otherwise it's going to take about twice as much white to get the colour you want. Right, so now we've got our white, or white bone, I should say, white bone colour. We're going to start going down the teeth again. Now, I haven't used any white in the rest of the model, so I'm hoping the fact that these teeth are white is going to make them stand out just a little bit more. And again, we're trying to get those little jagged lines in as well. Nice and carefully, little brush strokes. Oftentimes when I'm doing like fine line details like this, I'll sort of move the brush like this and not actually touch the model, and then I'll just get closer and closer and closer, and then I'm just ready to do that little line down it. So it looks like I'm doing a painting action with my hand, but the brush isn't actually touching the model. I hope that makes sense. It makes sense to me. It's almost like you're sketching it in your head before you're actually putting the paint on the model. So we're now getting that nice effect of rotten gums, and we're going to compound that effect shortly with a little glaze. Forgetting the bottom teeth. Really starting to pick those out, and I think I'm quite happy with that. He's starting to look quite good. Again, another coat, 2 thin coats on everything. And just the tips of these teeth down the bottom. Not forgetting the insides as well, which I think I did on the last colour. We're just going to do these inside of these teeth here. You don't have to just use the tip of your brush, you can use the sides of it. Use all parts of the brush. Well, I mean all of it, but you can use the side of it as well as just the tip. Now we're just going to do a pure white, and this is going to be very watered down, quite thin, because he is an undead dragon after all, or undead bat creature. Chances that he's got pearly whites are quite slim, but this is just going to be along the top of the tooth where the light would catch, really light, just towards the tip. All over the tooth, just along where the light would catch. You can use the side of the brush as well to get that. It's almost more of a reflection than anything else. An actual part of the tooth colour. The tips of those as well. So now we've got our tooth colour, and you can see it's really stuck out now from the rest of the bone. Had I done the rest of the bone, they would have just sort of blended in and you wouldn't have really been able to notice. What we're going to do now is, just to finish off, we're going to use a Reikland Flesh Shade wash, and if I can find it, a bit of Lamium Medium. Then we're going to do a 50-50 glaze of Reikland Flesh Shade. We'll get a nice blob of that on our palette. And Lamium Medium. Always put your Lamium Medium on the palette first before you get other colour on your brush, because you'll contaminate the medium really quickly if you start putting other colours into it. So this is just a watered down. You could use water as well, but the medium will get rid of any shine of the wash that might pool here. And all we're going to do is just make sure he's in the picture first of all. I'm just going to run the flesh shade over the gums, where the teeth meet the gums. Nice and wet. And this is going to give the impression of really... Sorry, let's get that back in shot. There we go. Really manky gummy teeth. Because he's going to have been eating stuff, isn't he? So he's going to have probably a bit of residue of stuff stuck in there. Just along that gum line there as well. And along that one. Just going to make sure it pulls in that recess. There we go. Also, we need to wait for that to dry. And I'm not going to sit here and wait for that to dry because I need to crack on. But yeah, there you go. That's how I would paint teeth of something that's maybe got not the best hygiene, like Nurgle, undead, or something that's got like a bone face and then you want the teeth to stick out a bit more than they would. Otherwise, the bone here was Xandri Dust and Screaming Skull. with an Agrax Earthshade wash. And then highlighted up again with Screaming Skull and a tiny bit of white added, I think. I can't remember, it might just be pure Screaming Skull. And I think it was a little bit of white added to the Screaming Skull for the final highlight. So by using those different colours, we've made the teeth stand out. And I'll put that. Well, I'm going to end the video there. I'm going to go and edit it and upload it. And yeah, I'd love to hear you guys' feedback. Let me know what you think. Yeah, happy Monday. Bye.